It's a Sunday afternoon. You've been on your own for 3 hours. The light through the window is good. There's food in the fridge. You have no obligations until Monday morning. By any rational measure, this should be one of the better afternoons of your week. Underneath, your skin is crawling. You can't name it. You pick up your phone, you put it down, you pick it up again. You think about ringing someone, but you can't think of who. You think about pouring a drink. You think about driving somewhere. You think about texting her, the one you finally left 3 months ago, just to see. Just to see. You don't. But the thought is loud. You don't. But the thought is loud. In the next 12 minutes, I am going to tell you what is actually happening in your body and in your nervous system on that Sunday afternoon. Why the peace feels wrong even though you fought for years to get to it. Why the boredom feels unbearable in a way you didn't expect. Why this is the moment most men go back or start something new just as chaotic. And why none of that is necessary if you can sit with what the boredom is actually trying to give you. I made a video on this channel called The Dopamine Trap. If you haven't watched it, watch it after this one. It will explain in more detail what I am about to compress into one paragraph. The relationship you left was almost certainly running on something called intermittent reinforcement. Good day, bad day, love bomb, coldness, warmth on Friday, contempt by Sunday. Your nervous system spent months or years trying to predict the next signal, and in the end, gave up trying to predict and just started reacting to whatever came. Your dopamine system, the part of your brain that handles reward and motivation and craving, was calibrated to that pattern. It learned, day in and day out, that the rewards in your life, warmth, attention, presence, would come at random, in random doses, often after long stretches of nothing. That is the most potent reward schedule a nervous system can be exposed to. It is the schedule that slot machines run on. It is the schedule that the most addictive drugs operate by. Then you left. The signal stopped. Not because anything went wrong, because the source of the signal walked out of your life, or you walked out of hers. And the system that had been calibrated to expect rewards at random did not, in the absence of those rewards, simply relax into peace. It went into something that looks and feels and operates exactly like withdrawal. Same family as opioid withdrawal and mechanism. Different chemistry, same nervous system signature. Restlessness, skin crawl, inability to settle. The phone in the hand for the 40th time. The thought of texting her that won't go away. This is not weakness. This is not failure. This is not evidence that you really did love her after all, and should reconsider. This is a perfectly working nervous system going through chemical withdrawal from a pattern that had been running it for years. And the timeline of withdrawal is months. Not days. Not weeks. Months. Sometimes a year. Sometimes longer. Here is the moment, in this withdrawal, where most men make the wrong move. It's the 2 a.m. kitchen. Or the Sunday afternoon I described in the opening. The withdrawal hits hard. The reasonable part of you knows the relationship was killing you. The body wants the chaos back. The gap between those two truths is unbearable for a long minute, sometimes an hour, sometimes a whole night. And in that gap, most men do one of 2 things. First option. They text her. Or they reply to her text. Or they go to her house to collect the last of their stuff that they didn't need to collect. The body sourced its dopamine from her for years. The body wants its source back. The rational mind makes up a reason. The relationship reopens. 6 months later, you are exactly where you were a year ago, and you have not learned anything. Second option. They don't text her. They congratulate themselves for not texting her. They go online and find somebody else just as chaotic, often within weeks, sometimes within days. Different woman. Same nervous system pattern. Same withdrawal at the end of it. They will tell themselves this one is different. The body knows it isn't. The body chose this one for exactly that reason. Both of those options are the same option. They are both refusals to sit with the withdrawal. They are both attempts to feed the dopamine system the chaos it was calibrated for, because the alternative, sitting still through the withdrawal, feels like it might actually kill you. It won't, but it feels like it might. If you're at that moment right now, watching this, I'm going to tell you the only useful thing anyone can tell you. Don't. Don't text her. Don't pick the next one. Sit in the kitchen for the hour. Pour a glass of water. Eat the toast. Go to bed without checking the phone. Do that on the Sunday afternoon. On the Tuesday night. On whatever the next bad day is. Do it again. Do it 100 times. The body learns. Slowly. But it learns. Now I want to make this harder. Because here's the part almost nobody names. Even if there was no relationship to recover from, even if you had never been with the woman in the first place, most men in modern life would still struggle to sit with the kind of stillness I just described, because there is a second withdrawal happening all the time, in everyone. And the relationship withdrawal is just the version of it the breakup made visible. The second withdrawal is from the civilization. Your nervous system, for the last 10 or 15 or 20 years, has been swimming in a continuous low-grade stream of dopamine hits, cortisol triggers, novelty stimulation, and social comparison signals delivered by your phone. Every app on it is engineered to ensure you never have to be unstimulated for more than a few seconds in a row. Boredom. The natural background state of being a human for most of recorded history has been progressively pushed out of your daily experience, until you reach a point where 5 minutes of unstimulated time feels like a small kind of suffering. When you leave a chaotic relationship, what hits you isn't just the relationship withdrawal. It's the relationship withdrawal landing on a nervous system that was already running ragged from the civilization withdrawal. It's been silently fighting for years. You aren't just coming off her. You're coming off the entire architecture of modern overstimulation, and the architecture is harder to leave than she was, because the architecture is in your pocket 24 hours a day. This is why some men, after they leave a difficult relationship and go through the worst of the withdrawal, find that something in them keeps reaching anyway. Even after she's out of the picture, even after they're not tempted to text her anymore, there's still the picking up of the phone. There's still the inability to sit with a quiet hour. There's still the skin crawl on the Sunday afternoon. The relationship is gone, but the underlying problem hasn't shifted, because the relationship was never the whole problem. Underneath it, the dysregulation was, and is, civilizational. In the previous video on this channel, You Were Not Built for This, I covered the spiritual traditions that have, across cultures and centuries, sent people into silence as a foundational practice. The biblical wilderness, the desert fathers, Thoreau, Aboriginal walkabout. I won't recover that material here, but I want to extend it. What every one of those traditions knew, and what we have forgotten, is that the boredom is the work, the silence is the work. The stretches of nothing, where the mind has nothing to react to, are not the absence of the practice. They are the practice. Because what happens, when you sit long enough in the boredom, and long enough here might mean 10 minutes the first time, an hour the 5th time, a few hours by the time you're a few months in, is that the noise of the dysregulation starts to drop. And in the gap underneath the noise, you start to hear signals that have been there the whole time, drowned out, that you haven't heard since you were a child, or possibly since before that. You hear what you actually want, not what the algorithm has been telling you to want. Not what the dating content industry has been telling you to want. Not what your last partner trained you to perform wanting. What you actually want, separate from any of that. You hear what you actually feel. Not what you were rehearsing to feel. Not what you were managing yourself out of feeling. The actual emotional weather, in your actual body, as it is right now. You hear, in some cases, what your life is actually for. Not in the grandiose Instagram purpose sense, in the small sense. What it feels like to be the particular person you are, in the particular life you have, for the particular years you have left to live. None of those signals can be heard with the phone in your hand. None of them can be heard inside a chaotic relationship. None of them can be heard in the next chaotic relationship you might be considering starting just to outrun the silence. The silence is the only condition in which they get to be heard at all. Which brings me to the title of this video, and the line I want you to take with you whether or not you remember anything else. The boredom is not the enemy. The boredom is the doorway. Every spiritual tradition that produced people we still read 3,000 years later understood this. Every modern app in your pocket has been built to prevent you from understanding it. The cultural war you are inside of, whether you knew it or not, is a war over whether boredom gets to do its job in your life. The chaotic relationship you just left was, in one sense, an elaborate strategy by your nervous system to keep boredom out. The phone is another such strategy. The next chaotic relationship would be a third. The work of recovery is to put down the strategies, one at a time, and let the boredom in. When you do, and this is the part that is genuinely strange the first time you experience it, what comes through the doorway is not what you're expecting. You're expecting some kind of pain you've been outrunning. Sometimes that's what arrives. More often, what arrives is much quieter. Something more like recognition. The version of you that has been waiting underneath all the noise. He is not who you thought he was. He is not what the dating advice industry has been trying to convert you into. He is not what your old partner wanted you to be. He is who you actually are, when nobody is defining you and nothing is happening. He is almost without exception, less impressive than you'd hoped, and more alright than you'd feared. He doesn't have grand plans. He doesn't have an answer to every question. He's just there, and he's fine. Practical. None of these will make a good Instagram post. All of them work. Walk. Without a podcast in your ear. Without a phone in your hand. Just walking. Looking at what's in front of you. Noticing what your body does when it's allowed to be a body moving through space without commentary. Cook a meal. From actual ingredients. With your hands. The simplest version possible. Eat it slowly. Notice the taste. Sit on a back step or a veranda, or wherever you have access to outside, with no phone, and watch what happens for 15 minutes. The light. The birds if you have them. The wind. Your own breathing. Read a book. A paper book, not on a screen. For long enough that you stop checking the time. Sleep without the phone in the room. Charge it in the kitchen. The first nights will be uncomfortable. The fifth night will not be. Build something with your hands. Doesn't matter what. Wood, food, a fixed thing, a planted thing. The hands need work. The screen can't give them. Spend regular time with people in person. Not your 100, your 3. Eat, talk, look at each other. The phone's away. None of these are dramatic. None of them are quick. All of them are what the species has been doing for tens of thousands of years to keep its nervous system in some kind of working order. You don't need to leave your life. You just need to put back the few small things modern life has quietly stripped out. I want to leave you with an image. Not as autobiography this time, just as an image to take with you. Daintree rainforest, somewhere in far north Queensland, first light. Mist rising off the canopy. A man, just one, alone. Back to the camera, hand on the trunk of a tree, watching the country wake up. No phone. No appointments. No one to perform for. No partner to manage. No app delivering signal. Nothing happening except the country being country, and a man watching it. I have been that man. I know what it feels like in the body. And I am not going to tell you that you have to go to a rainforest to get there. That image is just the most exaggerated form of the thing I have been describing this whole video. The man you actually are, with the phone down, with the chaos behind him, with nothing to react to, and no one demanding a performance. That man is not a stranger. He is just somebody you haven't spent enough time with to recognize yet. The boredom is the path to him. Sit in it long enough and you will meet him. He is fine. He has been fine the whole time. He has been waiting. If you're currently in the worst of the withdrawal, the kitchen at 2 a.m., the Sunday afternoon, the phone in the hand, the free attachment quiz on this channel is one place to start understanding the pattern underneath. 15 questions, 3 minutes. Link in the description. The companion videos on this channel that go deeper on the specific pieces of this one are linked below. The dopamine trap on the withdrawal mechanism. You were not built for this on the broader biology of belonging. Older than the wall, the song, on the wall most of us mistake for our home. The boredom is not the enemy. Sit in it. The version of you on the other side of it is waiting. I'll see you in the next one. Songs. Stories. The long road between who I was and who I'm becoming.